Jace Hinton, and he's kind of the do-all guy.
Jace Hinton, Jace, welcome to the ballpark, brother.
We started talking like sports, and Jace is on fire.
I know.
I just need to add some new audio to the intro. That's the conclusion that I came to today. What's up, everybody? Media Man and friends back here with another episode, another guest. Y'all know how it works. We bring a guest on. They tell us about their journey. I'm so excited about this one. Maya and I have been working for a long time together, and we got things working this time. So here we go. Maya, go ahead. Tell the people about yourself.
Hello, everyone. I am Maiya Asperin. I've worked with Jace for about 3 years. I was a student athlete here at New Mexico Highlands. And I guess I'm here to just share a bit about my personal journey in my life and what I'm up to.
3 years felt like a decade.
It feels like a decade. It has so far.
It'll be coming up on 4 years next year, which is my end of my student career. Hopefully. We at this point we sitting here like this. Yeah. But no, Maya, talk about how you ended up at Highlands. I know Highlands, we recruit a lot of California kids. You're a California kid yourself. How did you end up really here at Highlands, like as an athlete?
As an athlete, so I played soccer here at Highlands. I played soccer growing up my whole entire life. I tried a few other sports, but this was the one that stuck. And the reason I wanted to come to college was because I wanted to continue playing soccer. Mm-hmm. There was a really big showcase around November, so Thanksgiving time. And at the time, the head coach here for soccer was Oscar Mendoza, and his assistant was Bianca Contreras, and she lives actually in California, like that area. And so it worked out pretty cool. But she came and found me at a tournament and reached out. And from there, it was kind of like I've had interest from other schools, but not an offer on the table or any visits on the table. And I ended up getting asked to come out for a visit. And I thought I was already kind of late because some of the kids I went to school with, whether it was soccer or other sports, were already committing. And I felt like I was really late on the ball. So I came out to visit here at Highlands early January of 2018. Wow. Yeah, early January of 2018. And I got to stay with the girls and everything. And from there, it was about a 2-day trip. They were taking me back to the airport, and they put the offer on the table for me and said, okay, we want to hear from you in 24 hours of what your decision is. And I got home and immediately was like showing my parents the numbers, like, is this good? Like, can we do this? And it turned out to be the best fit overall. I think the busy life and the fast life that you have growing up in California compared to here is they're on polar opposite ends. Mm-hmm. But I think what I needed academically and what I needed just personally in my life is what Vegas was able to bring to the table. So that's pretty much how I ended up out here.
24 hours. We want to hear your decision. That's nuts. I don't even why? like
when because I remember we were just in the car. I was sitting in the back seat, and he had said it and gave me the paperwork. And I'm looking at all the numbers, like, I don't know. All I know is like everyone strives for that full ride, of course, mm-hmm. And I'm like, so what does all this mean? How much does the school cost? Like, that is when I realized how much I needed to do all this research to see, is this the best fit? But at the end of the day, this was the main offer that I had. This was the best offer I had. And it turned out great. I mean, here I am continuing my education, doing going for my master's. So, but 24 hours, that scared me too.
I'd have been like, look, bro, you got to give me more than 24 hours. So major kudos to you.
For like an extension. But I think I was just so scared because, again, the opportunities weren't like
they weren't flooding in.
yeah, it wasn't something crazy. And so I was like, if someone's willing to invest that into me,
Yeah.
okay, I will get you your answer as soon as possible. Please don't take that offer away, pretty much, is what I would say.
Yeah. So you got here to Highlands in 18, you said?
Yep.
Okay, so COVID would have been your what year? What year would COVID have been for you?
Is that my junior? My
Junior
junior
year?
year?
So
Yeah.
what was
Or
that whole thing like here? Because I've heard like other people's stories and stuff, but like what was that whole thing like?
I'm trying to remember. I'm confusing the fires, I think, in COVID because it was such a back-to-back
Yeah.
situation. But for COVID, I do remember it was my junior year. It was the sophomore spring break is when they kind of were like, okay. And I already had a feeling personally. I was like, they're not going to bring us back here.
Yeah.
So I had left for my spring break, which ended up being, I didn't come back until the next academic year once everyone was invited back to campus. So
Yeah.
there was the option for soccer to come back because we were debating on if we were having a season or not, since we are a fall sport.
Yep.
And I remember, I don't know if it was overall NCAA, I'm assuming, but I remember for the RMAC, it was a big talk of like, okay, are we going to try to risk it, play a few games and see where we get? But I ended up staying back in California and I did all of my classes. Everyone did their online classes. That was pretty different for me. That was the first break I think I've had of soccer
Yeah.
up until that point was COVID. So I actually wasn't even on campus for any of that. But then when we came back, that's when the fires hit. So
The
it was
fires
kind
were the fires were the year before I got here.
Yeah.
Actually.
You got here what year then?
I got here in 22.
Yeah.
So I got here in the fall of 22. That's when I got here cuz I remember coming out for my visit and I came out for my visit, did my visit, came back for another visit with my parents so my parents could see it. And then coach at the time, Coach Hunt, sent me my offer. I signed it, signed, sealed, delivered, that whole 9 yards. I was actually going to fly back out to Vegas, and they were going to get me in some gear, take some pictures, that kind of thing, and, make it a big old formal thing. And then the fires hit, and he calls me. He's like, yeah, we ain't even playing the last 4 games of our season. Don't even try flying out here. I was like, fine by me. I got games I got to play anyway, so
Yeah.
I'm cool. But no, that's unreal. Like 24 hours for them to be like, yeah, 24 hours. Give us I ain't even got home yet, man. Like, let me get home. Damn.
Let me ask you this. When you first came out for your visit, what airport did you go land from?
So actually, I didn't fly in for my first visit. My
Oh,
first visit, I drove because I was living in Phoenix, and
yeah.
there was me, Rob, and another teammate of ours rode with Rob's dad. And then 4 of our other teammates met us that night so there was like 7 of us on this trip. And only 2 of us even considered it after coming out on the trip. And it was me and Rob, and coincidentally both ended up here. But like I knew about Highlands when I was getting recruited because I grew up with the RMAC, obviously.
Yeah.
But like I didn't even email them when I was coming out of high school. And the recruiting process out of high school is a shit show and a half.
Yeah.
And so you're like, okay, let's see, and I really liked it because I grew up in a small town, having the small town atmosphere, for me it was normal. Like, there's, what do you do on a Friday night? You go light stuff on fire. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's small town stuff, So I was like,
yeah, that's the life that I had to adjust to here.
yeah, what was that like adjusting from obviously California? I lived out there for a little bit, so I knew like California was everything's big in California.
Yeah.
What was that adjustment like?
So I originally I was born in San Diego, so we lived there only like a little bit, and then I was mainly raised in Oceanside, California. So from there, that is just like, I have the beach, I have all the malls and all the food, all of, you can go snowboarding in the morning and go surfing in the afternoon. Like, that
Yeah.
is what I was used to. So when I came out here, I landed in Santa Fe for the
Okay.
first time I ever came out here. A lot of people have actually never been to that airport either.
I have been there.
Such a small airport.
Yeah, it is.
Tiny little airport. And when I got there, I was like, oh, it's like VIP. You feel there's no one else there. And for the people that don't know, the Santa Fe airport, I think, only literally has 2 gates. Like, is it one
Yeah.
gate?
No, they expanded to 2. They did expand to 2.
Yeah.
They did
So,
expand to 2.
woo!
Balloons. I don't know how that happens.
But
What?
it was just a culture shock. And
Mhm.
when I came out here early January, it was pretty cold. I do remember that. But I don't remember being like, oh, wow, this weather is like way too different. Now, I mean, after give me a few months of my freshman year, I was like, what the heck? Why is it like 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts? What are you talking about? And then it's like sleet and snow, and then we have monsoons and we have extreme heat. I'm like, we get all the seasons here? I'm just spoiled California girl. Like, no clue whatsoever what I was getting myself into. But overall, Vegas was just so much more relaxed.
Yeah.
And I already think I can't lie about like me being skeptical of being in a small town.
Yeah.
Compared to where I grew up and came from. But I think it was genuinely for the best. It was my first trip to Walmart. We always use this example. I think every recruit and anyone that asks, like, what is Vegas? You go to Walmart, you see 10 people, you catch up about who got married, who had a kid, what are you doing this weekend? Oh, what are you buying groceries for? Like, whose birthday? That is something that I think really helped me adjust from living in California to being out here, because I don't have family. I didn't have family at the time out here whatsoever. And so having a close-knit community that we do have here in Vegas is the reason I believe I stayed. Like, I love the people here, and that's why I continued to stay here.
Yeah, no, I mean, definitely, like, I remember when we had anytime, like, I'll be walking around campus and teams have recruits on visits. I don't know what it is. All the coaches introduce me. So, like, some of these recruits that come through, I'm like, yeah, I remember you on your visit. But, like, they all ask the same question, like, what's it like out here? And it's like, man,
what is there to do?
if you play your cards right, you're gonna find something to do. Like, it's like everybody knows everybody. Everybody knows what's going on. Sometimes that can be annoying, but growing up, I grew up with that, so I'm like, I'm used to it.
Yeah.
Like, everybody knew kind of thing. So,
but think about it. Like, you come out here. How old were you when you got to Highlands? So?
I was 19, so I had already had a year of living away under my belt for that much.
Okay, but on top of that, the majority of kids, like, you got 18, 19-year-olds out here. And it's like, I came from California. I'm used to hearing everyone's story of going to Chico or SDSU, like, big schools.
Yep.
And when they find their independence their freshman year, it's like, you go a little crazy maybe. Like, you're figuring out how to live life and be an adult.
Yep.
And I think out here, that was a great thing because it shapes you. It's like, yeah, there's a small town. You screw up, everyone's going to know.
Everybody's going to know.
There's no getting around that. But I think it was kind of like a safety net in a way of just, you have that community support, but also, like, you're aware that you're in a smaller town. So know there's eyes on you and people will remember you, especially being associated with the one university in town.
I mean, everybody, in the community support of the athletes and whatnot, like, they love you. They love you out here. So that, that's one thing that, like, I definitely learned out here with the community support was huge. I did like that. So Maya, talk about so you played your 4 years,
Well,
and
I got
then
my COVID too, so I like
and your
yeah,
COVID. So you played your
so before, yeah,
COVID plus 4 plus 5, whatever.
whatever.
So talk about the transition out of athletics as an athlete into athletics as an employee.
You're talking about SID, or are you talking
S
about
SID, what all of it, every single part of it that you've ever done.
so for the SID? I don't even know if you know how I got started on this.
I don't think I
I
do.
I received. I don't know how I was reached out initially, but Fred
Mhm.
had reached out to me, and we had set up a phone call. And I was on travel in Utah. We were about to play Westminster.
Mhm.
And I remember I was like, okay, yeah, like I just knew, like, oh, he's the guy that helps with games. I had no clue anything about athletic administration at the time.
Yeah.
I was very just self-involved and like, I'm a student athlete here. I don't need to know anything else, you know?
Yep.
And in the phone call, I was like, I have no clue, like, why, you know? He just said, can I talk to you about a job offer, like a potential thing? And I said, sure. And he explained, hey, working within athletics, you could learn how to do the music, the statistics, the just everything that goes on behind the scenes to create the best game day experience. Like, would
Yeah.
you want to be a part of it once your season's done? And I was like, why not? That was my first job here at Highlands, and still is. But that's how I actually got involved into it. And so once season ended, I what I'm trying to think of what season. I started with basketball. I
I
do
was gonna
remember
say
that.
basketball would have been right after you guys.
And yes, because the first day of work was the kids' day.
Oh my lord. Yeah.
So we here at Highlands, we have like again, big community support, but specifically around our basketball team. That's like
Yeah.
one of the big things. And our men's team, I don't even remember who we were playing, but we host a game that is during a weekday, and
Mhm.
it's like at like noon or something. And so the
It's
kids
the
in
worst.
town, the kids in town get to take a field trip and come support and watch the game. And so I just remember I wasn't told anything. It was like, okay, show up, dress professionally. We'll figure it out once you get there. And I just said, okay. Had no clue what I was walking myself into. I was given the tripod to connect my phone to the scoreboard to the Jumbotron and just film all the kids. And there is just pure screaming, like screeching right when you walk into the gym. And I mean, I give myself a pat on the back for the fact that I even continued taking
Yep.
steps down to the table that day, because I could have definitely turned around from there. But yes, that was my first day. So that was a bit intimidating, but from there, it was exciting because I did get to learn a lot from you because you were more into this than I was. I had no clue what I was doing. I was just like, oh,
Yeah.
great. Someone wants to offer me a spot and I get to learn how to do all these things. So getting to pick up all of the different skills of basically just having a great game day experience was something that I was really intrigued by. And like to
Yeah.
this day, the reason that I do stick to doing it and I do enjoy doing it is because I know what it's like as an athlete to maybe not have the exact same experience that you hoped for as a young kid. And
Mhm.
that you went to these big games and you're like, look at like they're doing these autographs or these doing all of these random things after the fact or during the game or during a halftime.
Mhm.
And now that I am an alum from being a soccer player here, my goal is to always just give everyone the best game day
Yeah.
experience as possible. It doesn't matter that whatever division you're at, like me and you have spoke about this before, but like it's an
Yep.
accomplishment to just get to college and specifically play in college.
Yep.
That's a huge accomplishment. Who cares if it's D1, D2, D3, any like no one
Absolutely.
doesn't matter. You worked your butt off to get to this point. So why shouldn't we all just make it the best thing possible? Like the best experience. I want to give you the best music. I want to give you the best random halftime games and the most like promotion and cool media days and things like that. And so that's genuinely why I stick to it. And I mean, me and you, it drives us crazy every weekend that we have a crazy weekend of like game, like back to back.
Yep.
But we still, okay, we'll see you next weekend. Good job, everyone.
Yep.
And we're back to doing it again.
Yeah. I mean, we've been, Maya, you and I, we've been through the ringer when it comes to things. I mean, there's so much we could like throw out there with what we've done and what we've dealt with. But we come back each week, every day, and we do it again, and we do it again, and we do it again. So, yeah, I mean, 3 years we've been working together, and like we said, it feels like a decade because of what we do. Yeah. There's been weekends that we have had. The one that I remember the most, Friday volleyball. No. Was it? Yeah, it was Friday volleyball and soccer. Yep. Saturday football and volleyball. Sunday soccer. Like y'all don't get.
Yeah.
There'll be times people will be like, "Man, you seemed irritated, bro." Yeah, I worked 3 other events before this and had to deal with these fools.
Exactly, and it's not like just we show up like just when game time is. Like, there's preparation that has to happen way beforehand.
All week long, we're doing something.
And we hear from every single person that has an opinion on anything.
Everybody. Everybody. Like, seriously.
And that's the thing, like how we're talking about, like we love giving people the best game day experience.
Oh, yeah.
And it gets difficult when a lot of people have their own input of, what they think is best. But having to try to do all of the things and like please every person is where it gets really hard.
Yeah. But last year was crazy. Last year was crazy because so what y'all don't realize, like last year, before our boss now, Mike, thank you for coming on campus. Like y'all, you do not understand this, Mike. Like, golly, bro. Like, we came on. I remember getting the phone call that summer, right? The summer before last year. So the summer of 2023, I get a phone call from our old boss. And he's like, "Hey, man, just letting you know, Highlands is going a different direction. They're letting me go." And I was kind of like, "Oh, damn. Like, this is the guy that brought me on. This is the guy that is, like, pushed me so much to do what I want to do." Like, because I always wanted to work in sports information because it's a good, like, route for broadcasting. Yeah. And now I want to keep working in sports information. Like, at first, it was just a way to get to broadcasting. Now it's just sports information. Like, I will do that and broadcast. Like, I'll do it all if you want me to. And so I was kind of freaking out, right? Like I literally the day before this, I put myself back to come to Highlands. I was in the portal because of the whole coaching situation. I had pulled myself out of the portal to come back to Highlands, and I was like, "Oh, did I screw up?" So then our bosses, Jim and Shanna, called me at least. I don't know what your situation was like, but they called me like, "Hey, if you're coming back, hey, sports information, we'd like you." I was like, "All right, cool. Who's my boss?" They're like, "Yes." I'm like, "Y'all don't know yet, do you?" They're like, "No." I'm like, "Okay, that's fine. Just let me know when you do." So then we come back, and I was doing baseball. I was doing sports information. I was like, it's too much. I liked baseball, but I'd lost the love for the game, so I went full sports information, full time, right?
Yeah.
And then we get that Zoom call. We did a Zoom call with Mike. This is the first time we met Mike. Maya, Mike, myself, Shanna, we're all on this call. And Shanna kind of tells us, "This is Mike. This is what he'll be doing." And I remember getting off that call, and I'm like, they said he's not going to be out here till this summer. And I'm like, oh, damn. Maya and I are going to have to figure this out. Like, we're going to be in charge on campus. And
We
who is
did. We figured it out to a point where like we even knew the right times of like when to contact him and
Yep.
like we navigated that, I think, so well, and we still don't give ourselves as much credit as we probably should for it. But
Yeah.
to
I
me,
mean,
that was a crazy time.
because I remember like there would be times Maya and I'd have to do this and we'd have to do that. And then we'd be like, okay, we need this done. So you do this and I'll do this. And we'd split. And I mean, that whole year, Mike, thank you for coming on campus. Because if Maya and I still had to do that, I wouldn't have hair at all.
I think there was also this sense of like balance. And that's,
Mhm.
I remember the first time that we did meet with Mike in person, we had gone out to lunch and
Mhm.
it was like, what do you get? Like, how do you guys do this? Like, what is your normal day of working for these things? And we came to the conclusion that like me and Jace are just good balances to each other when it comes to the SID stuff.
Yep.
Because again, I have no clue what I was getting myself into. Jace over here, at least, like you had the background of like, I want to be a part of broadcasting and this is like
Yeah.
my way to do it. And you've attached like all your skill sets to this SID, like just sports information overall. And so that's pretty cool. But it's like we were still learning.
Yeah.
We were still learning how Highlands wanted to display themselves and like represent ourselves, but also we were learning like how to work with each other. How do we talk to other people and set the boundaries and say we need this help, or doing the best we can like on the fly.
Yeah. Sometimes this thing like is just from the bottom of your pants, you're just winging it, man. I mean, I don't, it's like you just kind of wing it at some point. And Maya, it's funny. Like I talked to a lot of the SIDs around the conference still, because there was a time where if they couldn't contact Mike, they contacted me. They could contact me, and they are like, "How did you two like? How did you two, as in the two of us, how did y'all like? You were students. You were kids almost in a sense. Yeah, we're technically adults, but we're kids at the same time. Like we're still like we had classwork, we had this, we had that, we had classes at this time. Like they
But I
were
think
like,
that's
how?
taught us a lot of how to manage
Yeah,
our time, but also it wasn't just us. Like we had so much support
yeah,
from, I mean, the people that were here at the time. Like
yeah.
Destiny was a huge asset. Cody was a huge
Destiny was huge.
asset. Like
Cody was huge.
those were our kind of go-to people too.
Oh
With
my gosh.
how do we approach this? Because we don't we don't want to get anyone in trouble.
No,
We don't want to
like
get in trouble.
right, yeah. I mean, there would be times I'd text Maya, I'd be like, Maya, I'm meeting in Destiny's office. We got to figure this out.
Yeah.
And she'd meet me there, and we'd be like, okay, yeah, this sounds like a great plan. Let's wing it and let's see what happens. And if it blows up in our face, it blows up in our face. And that's a lot of how we learned how to do these things. The things that we know how to do in terms of what we do at the table for basketball, or what we do in the booth for football, or what we do in the box for baseball or softball, like it's all trial and error.
It is, and there's a lot of. I think that's one of my favorite things. As much as it like pisses me and you off when these things happen,
Yeah.
I do like when we have to like problem solve in the quick moments like that, because it's just like this. I don't know. I feel like a little nerd, but like it's like an adrenaline rush of some sort to be like, we only have a certain amount of time. The game is about to start in 5 minutes. You need to make sure that. Why does the stats program keep shutting down? Okay, we need to figure out how to make sure that sets up. Do we have the national anthem ready? Like all just, but it's like we've done this for years.
Yeah.
But I think a part of what we also do is like we're used to that chaos, and like even though we're like, oh, we'll figure it out, we kind of expect it.
At this point,
we expect it. Like there's days where we'll both show up. Like there's been days that like I've shown up and I'm like, like it's been a long week for whatever reasons, and then we got to come to the weekend and do these games. And like Jace can read right off the bat, like, oh, just
got
don't
her.
ask her.
I got her.
But then there's times where it's like vice versa, and so it really is. It's like coming from being an athlete, working like within a team environment. I was kind of scared of how my transition would be from not being a player anymore. And this was helpful for the fact that it's like, we still need to have teamwork. We still we need to practice. We need all of these things just to prepare to make sure it goes as smoothly as possible.
Yeah, I think part of me, like, I've heard all the horror stories of athletes, and when they get done playing, they don't know how to handle it. When I quit playing, that was a big concern of mine. I was like, okay, am I going to be able to handle this? But with how much I was doing for sports information, man, I didn't miss a beat.
Yeah.
You know, instead of having to go practice every day and play catch, it was, all right, got to get ready for this football game on Saturday. What do we need? Who's coming? Who's not coming? Who's going to be able to work? You're not able to work. Get somebody get somebody else in here. We got to get somebody to do this. Like, that was that was what kept me busy. Have you ever, like, okay, let me ask this question, and I'll be straight up open about this because I have wondered it. So before I ask the question, I'm going to say this on the record. I don't care who comes after me. I have wondered if other SID departments are the same as Highlands. If there's like just things aren't going right, or if this is that. I really started to wonder there for a while if this was just a Highlands thing. It's not.
It's not.
I got the opportunity when I went home to Junction over this past winter break. I went in, I was doing some film for basketball. Obviously, I do that. But I was kind of around the SID department at Mesa, and even they were having issues. Like, stats isn't working all of a sudden. And I'm like, huh. Our scoreboard won't work. Huh. Our PA mic's broken. Huh.
Yeah.
I was like, ha, it's not just us. Have you ever wondered outside of that, though? Maybe if it was like, if other programs have issues with it?
I think I've wondered it, and the times that it really crossed my mind was when it was just being you like on campus. But honestly, I think it was more of like this naiveness of like, oh, why can't we get it together? You know, but not understanding that like this is happening everywhere. This happens everywhere, and that's not to say that the team that is doing that, or like just the athletic departments in general, like it's the fact that like that's how quickly things go wrong.
That's how things can go wrong. Yeah, like,
and you have to adjust to that.
We had to become one person, but two people at the same time.
Yeah,
like we had to be able to both be able to, okay, this is what's wrong, this is what's right, and we were able to like, okay, if this is going wrong, let's, like, I think the best example I had is, okay, if something went wrong stats wise, I was able to figure it out. And if something went wrong music wise or production wise or that kind of side of things, it was you. Like, you had it.
Yeah.
And so we were kind of teaching each other the ways of both of them. Like, I learned sound director from you. I learned sound director from you. Like, that's how I know anything about sound director now. And even to this day, if something goes wrong, I'm like, Maiya, I don't know. I don't know.
Even the like the social media side, like I truly like
that's truly you,
because Mike is the one that has been handling.
Yeah.
But like when I was the one solely doing it, like that was really stressful. And I know it sounds like ridiculous, but it truly was for the fact that I don't remember. When I took this job on and the social media side was handed over to me, I remember I was very anxious because I was like, I don't want to screw it up.
Yeah.
There was one person that told me, at the end of the day, it's okay. Like, we're like, it's okay. And I'm like, But the person that told me that was like, it's okay. It's just Highlands, or it's just like another day. And to me, I think that's where my mind frame shifted into like, what do you mean?
What does it mean? It's just Highlands. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, no, this is like, that means we should.
That means something.
All of these things so much better. And so
yeah,
I put a lot of pressure just to make this kind of as serious as possible, because at the end of the day, like, I don't want to say I grow into this person that has a career of doing something that I'm like, it's just that. Like, it's fine if I made that mistake. Like, I do enjoy pushing myself. I do enjoy having a standard to go by.
And there are times where like you're doing something and you're like, all right, unfortunately, we got to let this happen because we can't figure it out.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, it's like, oh, okay, we did figure it out, or we did adjust based off of this, or XYZ. Like, those that don't understand, like, okay, this is one that gets me all the time, right? I get a text message or I get an athlete come up to me and talk to me. I'm not just the music guy. I'm not just the music guy. Okay. I'm worried about the music, the scoreboard, the clock, the PA, the shot clock, the stats, the rosters. Like, I'm worried about all this other stuff. Okay. Maiya's in the same boat. So don't think that if I blow you off, she's not going to blow you off either, because we got other shit to worry about.
Yeah. And,
sorry, but your music is at the bottom.
and that was the other thing. Like, of course, let's say something were to happen, like an internet issue or a power issue of some sort. Like, those are things that can happen, and sometimes we have no control over it. And again, yes, it's not the end of the world. It's not the end all be all, but it's like it encourages us to be like, no, we want this to be better next time. We don't want to have to like deal with that or have someone notice, like a fan or a player notice. Like, that's, but there are priorities. There are. And that's hard because I think a lot of people don't exactly know what we do, though.
Right. They see that one side. They see what they see it's kind of like working behind the scenes. We work behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Right? They just see what we put out on game day. They don't see what we have to do behind it. Without a doubt.
And truly, like, coming from being an athlete to working behind the scenes, like, and even when I did get to coach this past year, like, you see a whole side that when you're an athlete, none of those things even cross your mind.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even think like, oh, who's in charge of like making sure that happens? Like, you're like, no, I'm here to practice, I'm here to play, and I'm here to win, and that's it. Like, but that's at the same time, that's all I would want any athlete to focus on the game day. Like, the rest of the stuff, that's for us to panic.
Let us lose our minds.
Yeah.
Like, let us do that. Y'all keep playing. Let us lose our minds. Like,
pretty much.
And we get. I can't tell you how many times I've been in Walmart or I've been in the grocery store or something like that, and people come up to me. They're like, "Oh, you're the guy that does da 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 da." I'm like, "Yeah." I don't know if that happens for you, but
for
like
me, it's like not probably as much because I don't put myself out there as much as you do, Mr. Media Man. But
my bad.
Bragging over there. No, I have I help out with another tournament that we host here at Highlands, but it's not for college
Highlands.
kids.
It's
for it's called the Stu Clark tournament, and so that's the basketball tournament. And I worked that the past 2 years, and so I've got to meet people within the community, specifically that works with West Las Vegas High School. But their athletic department, and then just I know a few coaches at Robertson, but that's kind of it for me. It was like I try to network those ways. Only because I think I'm too scared to be told, like, in public, like at Walmart, like, oh, so you're the one that screwed it up. like music, for example.
I've never had the like public, oh, you screwed it up. I've just had like, and I tell people this all the time. If it wasn't for Maiya, I'd be screwed, because there's shit that I've damn near lost my mind about, and Maiya's like, nah, we good. We got it. We good.
We got each other's back, and especially when it comes to just like respecting each other's times and I think that's the best way to put it. It's like, you have taught me kind of how to set up boundaries in a workplace. But also it's like, it's not like you're like, Maiya, you just straight up be like, no. You
Yeah.
tell me like, okay, look, you just do this part. I'll do this. I'll do this.
Yep.
Just focus on that one thing. And I'm like, okay. But there's times where it's vice versa. And like, we have to help each other out with those things. But
I mean, Maiya and I, like, y'all, we've been through the ringer of shit. I mean, Maiya had to drag me out of the press box one time. I think she remembers the exact incident. There was somebody that was causing issues, and Maiya had dragged me out of the press box because I was about to tomahawk hammer somebody. Yeah.
it does. And we have to learn how to work with people, like different people that aren't around all the time, just from our university as well. So.
And like, that's the other thing is, like, people see us, and this drives me nuts. They see us as these kids. Yes, we are young adults, but like, that don't mean you're going to push us around. Like, and people get surprised by that. People get surprised when Maiya and I are like, nah. They kind of look at you like, what? It's like, no, this is how this needs to be done. This is how we handle things here. This is how we do things. Don't try to mess that up. And it's really funny to watch.
I'm very defensive when it comes to respecting the people that we work with on our team.
Exactly.
That's like, whether it's, people in the stands or whether, it's refs, like anything like that. I'm very big on just like, no, we are doing our best to provide the best experience possible. There's only so much that we actually are in charge of, and the rest of the stuff, like, nature's in charge of, not us.
Yeah.
So I think we do a good job of having each other's back. But like, even just the culture that we have, because it isn't just me and Jace and Mike. It is also like, there's so many other student workers as well that help out with these things all the time. Me and Jace are just like the old people here. Well, I'm the old person here, and Jace isn't really old.
I mean, at this point, like, with how much we've done, I kind of am at the unk point.
Yes, but like, the culture that we have, like, let's say football, for example.
Yeah.
We have a football game day, and it's like, okay, we got a noon game time, and everyone shows up at like 9:30, 10. And from there, we're getting everything else set up, and we make sure, okay, everyone has water. Like, there's someone always getting water. Okay, do you have a pen? Do you have papers? Do you need anything else? Do you need batteries? Okay, and right before the game starts, everyone, good luck, good luck, good luck. We got this, fist bumps everywhere. And then once the game's over, it's like, great job, everyone. Like, you did a great job doing this. Like, there's a good culture within that, like, that's why you don't feel like, oh, I don't want to come back, Yeah. That's why we come back to the chaos.
And it's not all work focused all the time.
No.
I mean, literally this past weekend, we could take, for example, we were joking, we were laughing, we were talking, like, off the air, on the air. Like, it's not just like, oh, it's work focused. Like, no, you can, as long as you're focused on the task at hand, you can you can look at other things. You can do other things. Like,
like, you can make it fun stuff.
Yeah. Maiya and I can look at our phones and do stats at the same time. That's how long we've been doing this.
I wouldn't be telling people that.
It's not a secret. I'll be sitting here. Oh, yeah. He ran it to the right for 3 yards. What?
No. Don't display. No. The fact is, this is the truth. Jace can do that. Who is the person that actually has to tell him to get off and vote? That's my job. That's my job. Is to ring him back and be like, all right.
Jace will disappear. Where'd Jace go? There. I got him. We're fine. Oh, okay.
Just yell at Jace Michael, and there he is. Boom.
Good Jace Michael. All of a sudden, he just teleports. I'm there.
And then he's paying attention from there. But
yeah, we got it.
There is fun that we have, but also
we have a lot of fun.
There's a lot of there's fun moments for other people, and then there's other people like me, for example, the music, where it's fun for everyone else, and then I'm sitting there literally crying. Literally, I was crying Oh, how embarrassing. Would
That
you like
one.
to share the story? You
Which one? I got so many. So the one you're talking about, yeah, the one you're talking about was basketball. I can't even.
so
So
embarrassing.
player goes down, he's hurt, right? Now, this is what y'all don't realize with the music. When something like takes a long period of time, whether it's an injury or a timeout or referees are talking or umpires are talking or whatever's going on.
Any pause,
Yeah,
like
any
for an
pause,
extended period of time.
it becomes a scramble to get the music going because you don't want that long, awkward silence.
Yeah.
So sometimes you don't read what the song is, right? So Maya, she just, all right, on it. She's on it. She starts playing the song, and I'm like, hell yeah. And then on the lyrics of the song were somebody call 911. And I'm like,
That was the
oh
first
shit.
words that came out
And
onto the speakers.
Maya switches it quick as fuck. Nobody really noticed except for those who like are really involved with like what we do. I start laughing because I'm like, damn. Like it
I
just happens. Shit
more
happens.
I
And
was mortified.
poor Maya's more I'm hugging her. I'm like, you're good. It's fine. It happens. I'm I was done.
I think I was more embarrassed for the fact that there were fans that had like reacted
hmm
to it, and I did not want the kid who was injured to feel as though I purposefully did something like that.
Yeah.
I just felt awful, like to a point where I was like wanting to go up to the kid after the game, but like, what if he didn't know? You know, what
Yeah.
if he had no?
Well, and if you're injured, I don't think you're really thinking about what's playing over the speakers,
Yeah, no.
you know?
The
But
the other one was
yeah.
the football game.
The football game, that one's kind of funny because
The football game was funny. It was
sometimes like we have the windows open at the press box, and sometimes people will talk to us, and usually you get pretty good people. Like they're pretty good people. Like
yeah.
there's been the occasion I've had to be like, all right, Brett, sit down because I will jump out of this window, kick you in the face, jump back in the window. Like there's been times, okay, like, and then I stand up on the chair, and everybody's like, no, Jace, back down. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, fine. But we're playing Eastern New Mexico, and their mascot is a greyhound. And at Eastern New Mexico games, they play Who Let the Dogs Out. Well, Maya, she's just trying to play some music for us. Like, don't think nothing of it. Starts playing it. And we're all kind of like chilling. And we're like, wait a minute.
The fans we are also, our press box is on the visitor side.
So we're talking to all the Eastern New Mexico fans. Yeah.
Yeah, they're all under us. And so they started like cheering, everyone started screaming, standing up and dancing, and I was like, oh, cool. Like I got like a crowd atmosphere going. Like,
Yeah.
and then I realized by hearing everyone else in the booth, because I think I said out loud, wow, like everyone, like look at this crowd, like they're engaged, look at them go. And then someone was like, no, like this is just, who's the greyhounds, who are the dogs right now?
Yeah. And it was like, oh no. I think it was Mike that said it because then there was a fan. This is RJ's favorite part of this entire story. Literally, like we still talk about it. This fan runs to the middle of the stands and yells, "Who let the dogs out? Win!"
Yep.
We all just start losing.
And like those were the moments that's like, it's okay, you know, like that's something that's still like fun. There was a mistake, like that was a problem solving moment.
Yeah.
It wasn't the end of the world whatsoever. Only the
No.
people that knew about it understood it. But I just remember because the window was open, I was like, I turned it off and I had played a country song, like referring to cowboys after our mascot. And I remember I was like, oh, like that was an accident. I didn't do that on purpose. And everyone's like laughing. They're like, no, it's okay. Play it again. And I was like, no.
No, I mean, we get.
That was good fun.
Yeah, we get fun interactions with the fans, the players. Like we've had players come up to us and they'll say, or coaches, and they'll say some stuff. They'll talk to us, or they'll thank us, and so it's really great because like, we, and referees and like some people do understand how much we do. So that's always the good part is when they are like, hey, we appreciate y'all. We appreciate what you do. And that's always the best part of this whole thing.
Like hearing those thank yous at the end of just like rough weekends or like whatever personal or work or whatever. It's just like that just brings it all like, you know what? Thanks for noticing.
Yeah, it makes it all worth it. Yep. That makes it all worth it at the end of the day.
Yeah.
All right, Maya. We'll ask you a few questions and we'll get you out of here. What was your jersey number when you played and why?
My jersey number was 3. But growing up it was number 3. That's my number. I started playing rec soccer. I want to say I was like 5. And so I think my dad had picked that because that was his number when, like, for his sports. And so he had chose that for me, I believe, and I just kind of stuck with it.
Yeah.
But I remember when I got to Highlands, I was pretty curious, like, how do you pick numbers? Because for club soccer, it was like everyone it worked out with the teams I was always on. There wasn't normally like a competition or like whoever was genuinely there longer would get that over the newcomer. And so when I got to college, nothing throughout the recruitment, nothing throughout like the committing process, nothing was brought up about a number whatsoever. So I showed up for move-in because we had to get here early because we're fall.
Yeah.
We got here like end of summer, but a little bit earlier, and before the school year started. And we went into the locker room, and my number was 8. And I was like, okay, two threes, just like it's an 8. There you go. Like, so I was like, okay, like I guess I'm number 8. Like I'm not going to argue. I got to play college soccer. I was just stoked to be here. So I was 8 my freshman year, and I think it was my sophomore year. Right? Yeah. Someone else. I became 22. And then from 22, then I became 3. So I got 3 for I don't even remember, because I'm part of that COVID plus like took longer to do my undergrad time. The years and the time get mixed up for me, but yes, 3 was my ultimate number, and I did get to end on the note of playing in that for my last collegiate game in the last year of playing. But I had to do some like 8 is great. Like what can I make 8 good for? Like those weren't numbers to me. That didn't fit me. And then 22 was just random. But by the time I got my number 3 back, it was because one of the seniors had finally graduated, and she had told me, like, we made it like a ceremony almost. It was like, thank you for your work. Here you go. You get to be number 3.
That's awesome.
And vice versa, I got, that was nice. I got to pass that number too. So
yeah. So what's funny though? I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Without getting to know Maya, I wouldn't have known her jersey number. Okay. When we did soccer stats, we knew when Maya came in the game because Maya's leg was wrapped. Let's see if I can stand up at this. Her leg was wrapped from her freaking knee up to like right here. And we knew Maya was in the game. We were like, yes, Maya's in. Put the freaking do the stats. Put her in the game. Like that's how we knew who Maya was. We did not know her jersey number. I do now, but Maya, I've told you that story 100 times.
Yes.
That's how we knew who Maya was.
It was just always wrapped up in some way. That was because of like a hip flexor, groin / hamstring, and like knee injury all in one. And they were like, we're just gonna wrap your whole leg.
Everything. Just we're just gonna mummify your leg and call it good.
Pretty much.
How long did that usually take off? A couple hours?
No, not that long. It was the fact that I always needed. At the time, we had a trainer named Cece. I love Cece. I miss Cece.
I do too.
But Cece was the one that would have to do the groin wrap with my hip as well. And so that was like a struggle because I could never do that on my own. And it came to a point with like, I realized very quickly, okay, the second CC does this, you're not going pee until after the game. Like, you can hydrate all you want, you can get prepped, but like once treatment time happens, it was like, all right, that's it. Like, I'm not going to mess with any of Cece's work because she did it perfectly. There was no creases, no folds, and any of like her taping or pre-wrap. I was like, okay, I'm not going to mess with it.
Yeah, no, that was always like, we always knew who Maiya was because she was so wrapped. Who was your idol growing up, both like athletically and just personally?
Athletically, when I was in middle school, I believe, is when I was obsessed with Abby Wambach.
Yeah.
That was the player. And it's funny because I'm not her position whatsoever. I am not her stature whatsoever. But I just admired how hungry she was when she did play. And it was like she could be bleeding from her head. It doesn't matter. She's still going to go up for that corner kick and make sure she puts a body part on it of some sort. Like she was so determined, and her positive attitude, but also just her drive was something that inspired me as a soccer player.
Yeah.
Personally, like just growing as a young woman, there's a lot. And honestly, for me, I've always just said like my family has told me it takes a village to raise someone. It always takes a village, and I think the same for all of my idols and people that I look up to. It's my best friends' moms or coaches I've had. Those, specifically the female coaches, were the ones for me as well, because growing up I only had male coaches, and I only got, within my time of playing club, I've only had 2 female coaches.
Mm-hmm.
And so to see kind of how they're like, we would have events for club, and it would be like a scrimmage. The coaches for the club would all scrimmage each other, and we'd only have a few female coaches out there. And they didn't care. They would go as hard as possible on the male coaches. They would be slide tackling. They would be just dirty things that you probably you would be called for if a real ref was there. Yeah. And I just loved how they're like, I don't care. I'm going to do all of these things that you think I can't. And I'm going to make you regret telling me that I wasn't able to do it, you know?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay. Go to Chipotle order.
I don't like Chipotle.
That's even why I asked the question. I knew that. I knew the answer. That's why I asked the question.
Honestly, to be quite honest here, I am from Southern California. I would rather go to any little hole in the wall taco spot there than some Tex-Mex or Chipotle. Like, honestly.
Absolutely, yeah. That's kind of why I asked the question, because I knew. Yeah. I wanted you to tell the people. Oh my gosh. Okay.
But I honestly would choose. I was thinking about this because I had watched that other one, but I would choose Qdoba, but I am also a very, very picky eater.
Yeah. See, so Qdoba is one of those that, like, unless you go to Colorado, you don't know about it, because it's a Colorado thing. So yeah.
There's one in San Diego, actually. I found one.
Is there really?
Craving the Cholula chicken one time.
What?
There was one. Yes.
That's crazy. I mean, I don't even remember Qdoba when I lived out in California. Like,
but I don't know, like, if they're like rare. I'm pretty sure they're rare. You would find them in Colorado and where else? Does Utah?
Canada? Japan. Yep. Okay, so they've expanded. There's 93 in Colorado. Surprise.
Oh, gosh.
70 in Michigan. These are numbers that don't make sense. California, there's 13 of them now. Okay.
Are they in Southern California or are they in Northern?
Let's see. LA,
Oh,
2 in San Diego, Irvine, Pendleton, Orange, Pomona, Sacramento, San Marcos, Santa Ana, Travis Air Force Base, 29 Palms, and Walnut Creek.
what?
That's nuts.
Huh. Pendleton. I mean, like that's where I grew up, right there in Oceanside. So.
Huh. Well, there you go, people. Apparently, we learned something. Qdoba has a shit ton of locations that Jace did not fucking know about. Fucking.
But now we know.
Now we do know.
Yeah.
Okay. Favorite style of music. Now, this is something I don't know about you.
Favorite style of music.
Yeah, because Maya just plays whatever she feels like at the games. I'm not gonna lie.
Pretty much. I gotta admit, I am like a pop. I do like pop, but I will say R&B.
Oh, okay.
Favorite.
Who's your favorite artist?
No, I'm just gonna name everyone. We're gonna circle in every genre at this point.
We're gonna do it.
I would say top artist right now for me is country, which would be Zach Top.
Yeah.
Only because I mean we just went to the concert and everything, you know.
Yeah, we were just at the Zach Top concert. We all went with like our own separate group, which is weird because we went in separate groups, but I saw a bunch of people that I knew that were going there, but I did not see Maya.
No, I didn't see it. I think I saw Nate's cowboy hat, and that's how I was just like, oh.
It's kind of hard not to find Nate. Like, there's Nate, found him right there. I don't know what he's doing. I don't want to know what he's doing, but there's Nate.
Well, I saw someone with that looked like him, and I remember I looked at my boyfriend, and I was like, who? I was like, do you think that looks familiar? Like, who is that over there? It's like, oh, that's Nate. And I was like, oh, okay, there you go. Yeah, there's everyone else.
Everybody knows Nate. So we love that. You know, it's always sometimes it's a good thing, I guess. Nate, I love you. I'm sorry. What kind of hobbies do you have outside of work?
What kind of hobbies do I have? Well, this past weekend, because Jace worked and gave me time off, I enjoy hiking. That was something it's like a peaceful thing for me, like a meditation thing while working out at the same time. And I do like, I'm not good at it, but I do like painting a lot.
Okay, a little artistry up in here. Okay,
just some doodles here and there. Yeah, like I'm not like, oh, like someone sit down, I'll pose and I'll paint. Not like that. Like the one that I'm currently working on, it's like I don't know if you've seen those videos, but they do like the dots. It's like different layers of the colored dots, and then they do like smaller dots in it. It's a lot of patience and a lot of time, but
it's a lot of something I don't have.
But it's something that like I do enjoy doing. But I think hobby wise, that's really it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Right there.
Oh, I do. I like baking and cooking, but I'm not a master at any of those quite yet either. So.
Am I out here making what are we baking? What are we baking?
What are we baking? Well, I've been honestly just trying random things, and I just mixed together different desserts. Like we had like croissants, and I decided to make them like cinnamon butter croissants with like a chocolate dip, or like like just random things that we have in our house.
that was the first thing I learned, like when I moved out of my parents' house and I was like making food for myself. Is like you gotta like just try different things because you never know what you're gonna like, and then you can start something, you know. And like I tried so many different things that I mean,
me and my brother were trying to like make our own books of recipes. It's what like write down the ones that we commonly are making.
Yeah.
And so we're trying to do that just so it's easier
to remember.
Yeah, and it's not what are we having for lunch? What are we having?
Yeah,
for dinner?
Or had we do this last time? Like, did we how did we do this?
Yeah. What was the temperature? It was, it
Yeah.
was not 100 degrees more than that. Oh, okay.
Oh, go back.
Yeah.
Okay, next question was, okay, what song can you listen to on repeat without a problem all the time?
On repeat. I will admit I am not like, I'm a person that still listens probably to my playlist from high school.
I do too. It's okay.
A song that I can listen on repeat.
Or even like right now, if there's one song that you're like constantly listening to, like what is it?
Honestly, I have been listening to the original "Put Your Records On" by Corinne Bailey Ray, but like that's like
Ooh,
the original one, not like the remix one.
not the remix. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
I can always listen to that. Other than that, there "Drama" by Rex Orange County.
Okay.
Love a little bit of that, but those are like the two that I think I've been commonly playing.
Yeah, okay. I
Yeah.
got you. All right. Dinner with any celebrity or athlete, who would it be?
Hmm. This is like a new one. I would have said Alex Morgan
Uh-huh.
for the fact that I just think like she'd be a fun time.
Oh yeah.
This is like sad. I'm gonna say, okay, now that she's within the retired like that group of the US national team,
Uh-huh.
I would say Trinity Rodman. Why not?
Oh, okay.
Why not?
I
She
like that.
seems like such an interesting person that has like an amazing positive energy
Mhm.
that I would love to be around that.
Yeah, she for those who don't know who she is, she plays for the Washingtons. Are they called the Spirit now? Still?
I mean,
Is that
everyone's
it?
switching around. All the names have switched up.
Oh, I know. But her father is Dennis Rodman, former Chicago Bulls legend.
Yes.
So there is that. That's awesome. That's actually I really like that. That's a good answer. That's a great answer.
Thank
All
you.
right, two more questions. We'll get you out of here. Is there like a show that you're binging right now?
Me and my boyfriend, we okay. So there's two currently.
Okay.
One is The Floor, which is
I,
it's like a game show.
yeah, I've been seeing that. Okay.
I think we just like to play it because we're competitive and like it's like a simple way to be competitive rather than be like, let's go out to the street real quick and race. Like, okay, we'll just like do some trivia. We like watching that. And then we just restarted Friends from the beginning. I think it's because on like for me personally, everyone's probably seen this post where it's like, don't worry, you're still in your first season of Friends or whatever. Like I am 24 years old and I am still trying to figure out my life and what the heck is going on. So I think watching this is like a bit of comfort. I also
Yeah.
binged the entire thing growing up and then my freshman year here at Highlands. So I
Yeah.
think it's like this is like my step into the next.
Everybody, I swear, everybody will watch Friends at some point just for the hell of it. Like,
Yeah,
you
it's a
either
comfort show.
you relate to a certain character. What character do you relate to the most? Like, if you had to pick one, or I mean, people relate to all of them at some point, but like, which one is like one that you're like, yes, that's me, 100%.
I think it depends on my environment. Like
Okay.
the people that I'm around. Like if I'm just around my friends, for example,
Yeah.
I'm the Phoebe. Like I would love to just, but it's not just me. Like my
Yeah.
other friends are the Phoebes too.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think, yeah, you're right. At any point, everyone does feel like all of
Yeah.
them. Like how Rachel just.
Oh.
Is there two of us?
There is like if I add like now there's two Mayas. This is wild.
My computer died. I'm sorry.
That's all right. It's okay. We're gonna remove this one. That's fine. We're good. All good here. No, we were talking the friends thing. Yeah, I mean, I get the intelligence of Joey. I have the intelligence of Joey. Everything sometimes is a little slow. I'm awkward and weird like Chandler. And then I'm not always Ross. Like Ross is smart. Other than I guess we could talk about my failed relationships, then I'm Ross. But like
Okay, that's a whole nother podcast at this point.
that's funny. Okay.
But yes, I mean,
Sad.
again, everyone is one of
Yeah.
those characters at one point in
Yep.
time,
Like
and
when
we
I
all get
told
pissed off
y'all,
with them too.
yeah, when I told y'all Maya knows me. Maya knows me. Like she's there. I deserve a slap on the head every now and then, and Maya gives it to me. Just a bop. Huh? I told you that was gonna happen. Yeah, I know, and I didn't listen.
You gotta be on your A game, dude.
All right, Maya. Any last words before we get you out of here?
No, I appreciate you thinking I'm interesting enough to bring on this.
Hey,
Thank you
always.
for everyone who decided to watch this,
Yeah.
and hopefully give us a break every once in a while.
Yes, absolutely. Please do. We out
We
here for
promise
y'all.
we promise we're cool people that we're pretty chill.
We're not
We just get
mean.
stressed out sometimes.
Sometimes we gotta be mean, but we're not always mean. Like, come on now with it. You know what I'm saying? We out here doing it for y'all. No, Maya, I appreciate you always coming on, helping me out, everything like that. Y'all make sure you check it out. Tune into the other ones. If you see Maya, say hi to Maya. It's always a good day when you can see Maya. Say hi.
If you catch me, I'm literally rarely around.
That's facts, though.
Find me at a sporting event though, and I will be there.
That is facts. All right, we'll catch y'all later. Appreciate y'all. Media Man out.